Hello. Today I want to show you an interview that I made with Armando de la Torre from the US. Armando created a new device that's called the Silent Night, and the Silent Night is said to be able to help against attacks with directed energy weapons like V2K, remote neural monitoring, or even against physical attacks with these weapons. Armando is here to tell us more about his device, how it works, and he will also tell us about his situation, the situation with his family at home, and what we can do, how we can use this device to lower the impacts of the energy weapons, of the attacks with energy weapons. So let's go to the interview.
Of course. Hi, everybody. My name's Armando. Um, I guess we could start with where it all started for me with my wife. It all started with my wife, of course, and um, and I made a vow to her that I wasn't gonna stop until I figured out how to save her from all this, and that's exactly what I did. Um, I spent countless nights frustrated trying to figure everything out. By the grace of God, I was able to finally come up with something that helps, and for some people, it actually uh, eliminates almost all their V2K and their R&M. For others, it's helped tone it down to where they can ignore it. Um, but essentially, where I started with my wife, when I started blocking it, they began targeting me, and then shortly after that, they started with my 4-year old daughter. I'm sorry. And after that, it was gloves off. Um,
It
you know,
must be horrible if you see that your daughter is attacked with these weapons. It
yeah.
must be
I mean,
very.
it was brain. I guess they're trying to brainwash her with the V2K and using my voice and my wife's voice. They made her kill her fish because she said that she heard mommy's voice saying that it's okay to do this or that, and she ended up putting yeah putting some soap in the fish bowl. She was trying to give him a bath and put a bunch of candy in there. She said that she heard mommy say it's okay. So that's just an example of what they do to the kids, and she's not the only one.
I
Um,
heard about that there are many, especially in the US, there are many kids targeted with these weapons.
yeah, especially kids that have autism, they like to target because those kids can't speak for themselves, and we have a few TIs that have kids with autism that are targeted that use the Silent Night. Um,
And who will believe you if you tell something, even if you have a diagnosis with autism or something? Who will believe you? Nobody will believe you.
right,
That's the
right. I
problem.
mean, that's the problem right now, but hopefully, hopefully, there's some things changing in the political realm that are going to change a lot of that. It's already been brought to light uh, in some congressional hearings a few months ago about this all, and I think we're getting the right people in the right places to hopefully end this. Um,
Well, there is a lot of hope now after the election, the last. There
yeah,
is a lot of hope that
there
something will
is,
change.
and I like I told you earlier, I felt it. I felt something in the beginning of this year. I felt like we're not going to be dealing with this much longer. It's a hard road from here on out, but it's not, I don't think it's going to be much longer. This can't go on any longer than it already has. It's gone for too long,
I hope
and
you are right. I
well,
hope you are right. I hope something will change. Yeah. Armando,
definitely
you told me you don't have an electrical background. You are more like a mechanic. You worked as a mechanic before, and
right.
then you started to get interested into electricity and so on.
Hmm.
What has happened? What made you be interested in electrical stuff?
Well, I've always been curious. Even when I was little, I would take things apart, and I always had trouble getting it back together. But I would take just devices, electronics, and toys apart just because I was curious about how they worked. Um, but about 2 years before we were targeted, I got a itch to start doing some taking apart electronics and figuring out components and what they were called, and got into RF radio, ham radio, and I see now that maybe it was just God preparing me for what was to come, and I do believe that he did prepare me, even though it was hard for many months of trying to figure things out, burning circuits up, exploding circuits,
Oh, really?
getting shocked with high voltages by accident. I still get shocked every now and then, um, but it just comes with the territory. And I think over the past 4 or 5 years, what I've taught myself with books and just doing these electronic circuits, I've learned the CAD software, so to design PCB boards on the computer to get them printed. I've learned RF electronics and just a wide variety of basic electronics. Um, but pretty much what would take most people 3 to 4 years for each skill, I did all of them within 4 or 5 years. And I'm not a professional by any means, but signal analyzing, I've been doing that for the past 4.5, almost 5 years. Learning different types of modulations that are used for telecommunications, data, uh, and it really is just I kind of thank my wife because she's the one that started me with she bought my first teach yourself electronic books, and little did she know that she was preparing me to save her, I guess you could say, um, and our daughter. But
Well, that's interesting when you say you're doing signal analyzing. Can you tell us what kind of devices you are using to do
uh,
this?
yeah, I have simple for to start off with some simple ones. The GQ 390. That's a pretty basic one. This is a multimeter. It does EMF, EF, and RF, and it has a spectrum analyzer for some frequencies. But I use this mainly for detecting electrical fields and to tune my device before they go out, so that we get maximum power before we send them out. Um, but the GQ 390 is a pretty good meter all around, and it's fairly affordable. It's about $100. I've had this for the last 5, 6 years, um, and it seems like they haven't been able to hack it. I think the people that have had bad luck with them is because they've said that they've replaced it. They've came in and broke into their house and they totally replaced the meter. So that tells me that they're not able to do this remotely, able to mess with it because there's hardly any digital parts in it. It's a lot of analog parts, as far as the solid state chips in it. Um, but for the most part, a lot of digital high end uh, meters and signal analyzers, I can see that they're easily manipulated remotely, just because of the digital part of the analyzer. That's just one of them. I have another one that's it's not really an expensive one. It's a Alibaba Express signal analyzer, but I made my own little amplifier to connect to it and a highly directional antenna that I got, um, to fox hunt signal sources. So we call them over here is when you're trying to find the source of a signal, you call it fox hunting. Um, but
Well,
yeah,
that's interesting when you say that they are breaking in and changing the devices. This is exactly what they did to me, maybe
right.
10 years ago or longer. I don't know exactly. They broke in into my flat and stole my device and replaced it with another device.
That didn't work.
Like, yeah, I didn't find anything with that device
Right.
anymore. Yeah. And I saw it because there was a scratch on my device, and the other device, the new
Yeah.
device that had not, there was not this scratch on the surface. So I saw it
Yeah.
was not the same device.
That's usually how we find out if they've replaced it with or if they've broken in. For the most part, I had what I know they do that, and a long time ago I had opened it up and put my own markings on the circuit board, and the same markings are still in there. Uh, so maybe they tried or they wanted but I always had it close to me for the most part. And if for a while, if I couldn't find it, then that means that they couldn't find it. If I lost it, then I know that I'm pretty sure that they couldn't find it either. Out of sight, out of mind, I guess you can say. But they were breaking into my truck almost every day. I would go to the store,
I can
and
imagine.
I finally got them to. They still haven't been able to break in this past few months. Um, it was a long game of chess with them with my vehicle, but I've been finally being able to stop them from breaking in. Now they'll try, they'll I still see the paint scratched up on my door jamb when they try to pry it open, but then they'll never find out where I move my locking cables and my latching cables to.
So, so you don't want to tell us how you do this, how
Uh,
you
I'm
what you are doing with your car, so
Yeah, I could tell you.
they can't break in.
I could tell you what to do. I mean, they'll have to find it. Most cars have the cables that go to your door latch on the inside to open the door. You remove that cable from your door latch, and you drill a hole underneath the armrests of your door, and you just pull the cable through there. So in order to open the door, you have to pull that cable and then push the door open. The way they would open the doors is they'd pry the door open, they'd put their hook in there, and then they would pull the latch or hit the unlock button. Well, I pulled the fuse out for the door locks. I have a switch for the door window so they can't open it remotely. I took the keyless entry. I took that out so they can't do. They were getting in with their own device, figuring out the codes. Um, they have the master key of all the vehicles, of all the key fobs, and they just go through the list until one of them opens your car. Um, so it took me a while to get to where I'm at now, but um, they can't get in.
But they can make a replica of your key, and then they can open it if
Well,
they
I
want.
actually have a locksmith friend that changes my lock, the pins in the locks, and cuts me a new key every so often. Um, but they
Okay.
essentially would need a locksmith that can decode the pins. That takes time, and I have other countermeasures that I have a real sensitive shock sensor that if you just tap on the door, it goes off and it's a loud alarm. Um, and it's gone off a few times here at night when I'm inside, so I know they're trying to break in um, to the
Okay.
vehicle.
Well, you said your wife was attacked first. She was a TI
Mhm.
before you, and
Right.
then after that, you tried to help her. When I understood it
Yes.
right, you tried to help her, and after that, you've been attacked too. You got a
Right.
TI. This.
Yeah. After I started blocking the V2K that they were doing on her, they were doing 24/7 V2K on her. They wouldn't let her sleep, and they were driving her mad. And they were putting her against me.
And
And
was this the time when you started to create your device?
shortly after that, shortly after we found out what was going on, um, we stopped arguing, we stopped fighting, and we started working together because we knew that what was going on made sense. We were connecting the dots, and thanks to Targeted Justice and Lighthouse, without him, we would never figured out what was going on. Uh, but essentially, that's when I started making a signal jammer, my first device. It took me about almost a year to make a signal jammer that would stop the V2K. And when I tried to mass produce it, they blocked me at every turn. Every turn, every manufacturer I would call, every local manufacturer, they would go behind me, I guess, and say, "Don't work with this guy. He's a terrorist or he's whatever." And I could never get them to call me back or work with me after the first call. So I kind of just stayed back and I tried for months, but I didn't get into the Silent Night until the Silent Night. That technology I had already gone through, but I didn't put too much time into it because I was trying to get that signal jammer done. And once I got the signal jammer done, well, it was working for my wife and for me. And the spark gap, the silent night, I didn't get around to that until Anna came around. And when I started getting really deep into that, that's when I started finding out that what a wide variety of of the attacks that it covered. You know, it was taking care of the R&M, the V2K, the attenuating some of the do hits, um, and all around, like even TI's significant others that are not TIs, they were saying, reporting back that they were feeling better, in a better mood. Um, so it like a non-Hertzian Tesla signal generator, wave generator. It just helps your natural resonant frequency. It helps you bring it up, you know. And now that I have no way of testing. Oh, go ahead.
You said you had a signal jammer first, and then
Mm-hmm.
you created the Silent Night. So how would you describe the Silent Night works? It's not a signal jammer. It's a different kind of
Right.
principle that works.
Right. It's not a signal jammer, so this is how I was been able to legally sell it internationally. Because the other one I wouldn't have been able to sell, not even here, without having some kind of waivers signed, and definitely not overseas. But essentially, what the Silent Night does is it disrupts part of the EMF wave, the electromagnetic field that is being used against us. You know, whether it's V2K or R&M. Um, you have an electric magnetic field is two parts. You got a magnetic field and an electric field. And what we're doing is just disrupting that electric part of the field, which is perpendicular to the magnetic field. So it's, in essence, their their attack is not fully getting to you. So we're disrupting part of that attack wave. Um, so
And
an
is the Silent Night putting out some
electrical field.
electromagnetic field or
No, not. It doesn't put out EMF. It puts out EF, a
EF?
very high field, strong field of electrical fields. Um, so,
Is it a
I mean,
kind of static field?
yeah,
Static field?
right. In a sense, it's a static field. Um, Pretty much think of like a globe around you, and it's a bunch of electrons that are moving back and forth, that are disrupting the electrical field that is being directed towards you. Um, the electrical magnetic field that's being directed to you, you're disrupting just part of that attack. So that's why we have some cases where some people say that they feel a lot better. You know, it works to a certain extent, and then we have others that say as soon as they turn it on, they get complete relief. Um, so I think it has a lot to do with how I mean, there's so many variables of how close you are to towers, what kind of technologies they're using on you. You know, if you have implants, and I worked more with this rather than single jammer, because it worked for more of a wide variety of attacks that were being implemented on everybody. So I thought, I'm like, well, let me put more time into this, since it's working for a lot of other attack technologies than just the V2K, like my first design. Um, and you know, I found out that it actually makes ozone and cleans your air in the room. It's like a negative ion generator,
How
multifunction.
how close do you have to be to this device so that it can help you?
Before it was about 6 to 8 feet. Now, with the recent update that all of them are getting, um, we're we've increased that range from 12 to 16 feet radius.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's okay to have this device in a room and you can walk around through that room and
Right.
if maybe you feel relief or you feel to be better.
Right. And the only thing we ask is not to put it close to any sensitive electronics like laptops or cell phones, because essentially could disrupt the electronics internally, and and you could essentially make your laptop go haywire and turn off. I haven't had anything mess up on me permanently, but I've had shut this down before from getting this too close to the antennas. It just make the screen go black, you know, and that's when you know it's working. But
Okay. Do you
I've been
have
able.
Do you have experience for sending it to Germany? Did you sell it to some persons in Germany? Because I guess when
Australia.
people in Australia, yeah,
We have
because
Australia and Canada, and we have two going to Japan.
the thing is, jammers are not allowed in Germany or in the European Union
Right, and this actually can pass the FCC 15-part rule of as far as any kind of interference with telecommunications. It's not interfering with the telecommunications. What it's doing is interfering with the electronics inside your device. Okay, so it's not a jammer. Essentially, a jammer is blocking telecommunication signals. Um, what this does, if you have any electronics too close to it, it's inducing charges over the circuit board that will make it go haywire and disrupt the basic function of the device of your whatever device you have it too close to. Um, but so far, Canada, we've been good with Canada. Australia has been good with it. Um, I have potentially two going maybe to India soon, but the ones going to Japan have not left yet. Um, but it survived a FCC raid with the TI, one of the plaintiffs that her husband was just trying to help, and he ended up buying a 22 band jammer and was blocking emergency communications. So he got noticed, and they came and they raided him, and they even had a narcotics team because they thought that he was a drug trafficker. You know,
oh,
because
really?
that's what they use. They use signal jammers, you know, to do their nefarious trafficking and stuff.
Okay.
Um, but I mean, he was just trying to help his wife, and he had bought other little jammers too, and they took them all. The Silent Night they didn't touch; they left it there because it
Where,
doesn't. Yeah.
yeah, where does the energy come from for this device? Can I plug it into the
USB.
electricity or
It's USB powered. Our first design was USB, and then when I updated the circuit board, I needed more power, so we went to a 9-volt power adapter. But with this recent update I did on the circuit board, we're back to USB, and we've made the efficiency a lot efficiency of the power conversion a lot better. So we're converting the USB power into electrical field power, and we're doing it more efficiently now with USB as from where we were doing before. Um, Before we were using USB, and it was doing its job, but it was just wasn't efficient like it is now. Um,
you said something? I'm not a I'm not an technical person about Tesla and circuits. I didn't understand this really well. Can you explain it again?
the Tesla, this pretty essentially this is like a Tesla spark gap. Um, the spark gap transmitter was banned a long time ago because of all the noise that it produces and a wide frequency of spectrum. But this is not a spark gap transmitter. I have designed it to only create a field close near field shield so that there's no disruptions of telecommunications. Um, Essentially, what his was like a jammer, pretty much, because of the amount of power that he was putting through it and outputting through the wires. And um, this is like a fraction or not fraction, but um, I guess you say a fraction of what he had. This is a very small. Uh, how about that word I'm looking for?
Version,
Yeah,
small
a small
version.
version without the jamming effects of telecommunications like his would. Um, so essentially, we figured out how to manipulate the EMF fields that they're shooting at us, um, so that we're not messing with telecommunications, but at the same time we're able to disrupt their illegal shenanigans. Um, so I think it was better that I went in this direction rather than the signal jammer because I wouldn't be able to help anybody across seas with the signal jammer. You know?
Can you say how this device works for your family? Does for your wife or for your
Yeah,
daughter?
we have one almost in every room, only because most of them are being tested. We test for 48 hours before shipping it. That way, if you know if it doesn't pass 48 hours, then there's something wrong. But for the most part, if it does pass 48 hours of continuous use, then most likely it's going to be good for a lot to last a lot longer.
I would like to take a look to this device. We can take a look
Sure
on
thing.
your website, and you also have a device with you. You can show it to us.
I have one right here.
Yeah, this is the version that you
This is the
created,
latest version.
the latest version, yeah.
Hmm.
The first version from the website is a little bit noisy, I remember. It makes a lot
Yes,
of
it
noise.
is. Right.
And
Um,
what about this version? Is it
it's
as noisy as the other one?
it's no, it's quieter. I've actually, because of the ultrasound that they use on us for behavior modification, um, the sound that it produces actually covers a wide audio spectrum. So essentially, what I did is tune the audio so it's not so loud, but still covers that ultrasound spectrum, so that you can have it, in your office and not bother everybody else, but still cover you as far as the ultrasound behavior modification goes. And a lot of people they don't mind it. They don't mind it being loud. Sometimes they say it's almost like white noise, or it's soothing to them. And I'm guessing, it's
Still better than the attacks.
yeah, it's better than the attacks,
Yeah.
and it's mostly the older folk that don't mind the loudness of it. But I've dialed it down and tuned I've used the vent ports to vent the heat, as a twofold, also as a ultrasound projector, I guess you can say, um, audio tuner, a kind of vent holes, you can, if you want to call it that. So the same holes we use for the cooling the device, is the holes that are used to project the ultrasound. And we use audio spectrum analyzer to tune those vent holes, the size of the holes, so that it's not too loud, but still covers that ultrasound. And anybody could check it with an app, any audio signal analyzer app, and you can check to see what frequency it covers, and it covers a very wide band of ultrasound. So
Okay. We take a look on your website.
yeah, can you
Here
see
it
it?
is. Yeah, here it is. I
All
see
right,
it.
all right.
Yeah, here it is. Okay, this is the Silent Night. I also see the price. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
It looks a little bit like an old TV antenna. I remember these old TVs in the 70s. Then you had this kind of antenna that you
The
put on
rabbit
your
ears.
you put on your TV, and then you were able to get two stations or something.
Yeah. Tuesday. Yeah, the reason we went to this, because before we just had the wires that would come out, and you would have to string them up on the wall, or however would work for you, better for you. Um, but then I started using these telescoping antennas, and it's made it a lot easier. It makes the field that it creates more symmetrical, rather than having some random shape of wires hung up on the wall. And it makes it just a lot more easier to have it mobile, if you're on the go. And we recommend not to leave this at home, obviously, because they will sabotage it. I've already made many repairs for TIs that left at home once, and they get home and they say, I got home and it didn't work. I'm like,
That's a,
well,
that's a general problem for TIs. If you leave important stuff at home,
yeah,
electrical devices, or maybe some papers you need or so, they can be stolen, they can be
mm-hmm,
manipulated, destroyed, everything. So I know many TIs who have a big backpack, always walk
yeah,
around with a big backpack with all the stuff that is important to them, because they are afraid to leave it at home because it can be destroyed or stolen.
yeah,
So better to take it with you. Yeah, but
yep,
you cannot take everything with you.
no,
Yeah, that's a
obviously.
big problem.
Anna, religiously, when she goes somewhere, she has her bag, the big bags that you go for grocery shopping, the ones that you reuse. She'll carry those with her laptop, her silent night, and she don't go anywhere without it. But we shouldn't have to live like that. And it's ridiculous what we got to do, but we have to do it, or else we'll have to deal with broken stuff, or missing things. And it's hard. it's just hard, and
You said your wife feels better now. Can you explain
Mhm.
how it helped your wife? Because I guess the V2K is still there,
Well,
right?
no, no, every now and then randomly, she would hear a little a little sentence, or like they're trying to get through. But babe, you want to specify on what you hear some every now and then?
It's been a while since I've heard a lot.
She says it's been a while since she heard anything.
Okay.
But when you do, it's only what, for a few minutes or a few seconds.
Yeah, I'll come and go.
It'll come and go randomly.
Yeah, it'll be more
When was
like
the last time you heard something?
um it's more about like separation, about who's better in the room type of thing. It's
How long
weird.
ago? How long ago was it?
A while.
Been a while, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Probably a month or
It's
so.
been a month since she's heard anything.
Okay, so that's a good result, I would say. No,
Yes,
it's a
definitely.
very
And the and
positive
the
result. Yeah.
and the baby hasn't been acting weird or talking to herself, so that's definitely a plus.
Yeah,
You know, and
absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, when I want to buy such a thing, how can I do this? Because I guess maybe in the future some TIs from Germany could maybe order that stuff from you.
now let
So
me ask you, do y'all get charged a brokerage fee or any kind of extra fees for anything coming in international?
I'm not sure. I
Canada, we just found out from our one shipment to Canada that if you ship it as a product that you sold, the person receiving it has to pay a tax on it, a ridiculous tax. They have to pay a brokerage fee, and before they even get the device, they have to pay this, and I think he paid, how much was it? An extra $120
oh, really?
with all fees and tax. Yeah, and
That's a
and
lot.
it is.
Hmm.
It is. And he he told me, he's like, if you send it as a gift, we don't have to deal with the brokerage fee and all the other extra tax fees and stuff. So, he told me a little bit too late, obviously, but if that's the same case with Germany, we can send it as a gift rather than a product.
As far as I know, as when you buy things from the US,
Mhm.
you don't you don't have to pay fees. You just
Okay.
have to pay for the transport
Right.
and for the article you buy, but you don't have to pay any fees, as far as I know.
Okay. Um,
Maybe
I
if you
haven't.
want to sell it, if you want to resell it, that's a different situation then.
Right.
Okay, but if I use it for me, just for me, for myself, I don't have to pay any fees. No.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good then. Then we shouldn't have a problem. Sweetie, Australia was the same too, right? Like they don't have to pay extra fees, right? Sweet, love. Australia didn't have to pay any extra fees, right?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay. There was a Australia didn't have to have any extra fees like Canada. Um, so whatever they paid for shipping, that was it, and the device, and that was, I think that was it. Yeah, Canada was the worst so far, as far as custom fees and the brokerage fee. No, it was a mess. It was.
Crazy.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
This is your neighbor. This is your
I,
neighbor
I know
country.
it's not even, I don't even consider it international because it's just a border, like right across the way. Um, but that's just to show you what, how bad their policies are over there, and don't even get started on that health insurance with Canada.
Okay. Well, that sounds really good, I think. If I would
We
say that it gives a lot of people hope that if you have V2K, if you have these attacks, and I guess all of us have remote neural monitoring,
Right.
so maybe you can break it for, at least for a part, for a little bit. You can break these attacks and feel a little bit better.
Well, my wife would always get these manipulated dreams of just some just disgusting sexual dreams, they try to put in her, and she hasn't really had any of those as of lately either. And my daughter hadn't had any bad dreams lately either. She would get bad dreams quite a bit. Wake up crying sometimes, and she hasn't woken up like that in a long time, as far as I can't remember the last time she did. So it's definitely they are definitely pissed off, and I'm sure I will get a some kind of burn on my face after this interview, like I always do. Um, every time I would do an interview, I end up with a small burn on my face.
That was a good feel.
The what?
That was a good feel.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that sounds really good. Maybe you can, do you want to show us something from your website or something else?
I mean, the website's pretty self-explanatory. I kind of explain where I started, where I came from. As far as the silent night, we offer a double. We call it a double juggernaut. So it's pretty much it's double the power output from a regular silent night. But we only recommend those to people that have severe do attacks or severe V2K, and that they're very close to a cell tower. If they're less than a quarter mile, I guess you would say 0.3 kilometers away from a cell tower, we would recommend the double jugger. But for the most part, most people they buy just the regular silent night, and it's worked out for them. Even a half a mile away, or a little more than a half a kilometer away. So that being said, I have a battery operated one that I'm working on for people that are on the go. I haven't released it yet. I'm still working out some kinks, but that will be coming soon.
So when you go to a camping ground or stuff, or you're
just
on the road,
or if you walk, if you're a person that walks a lot, somebody in New York that's always walking, they would want to have it more mobile version of it, where they can strap it to their back and just go, and so I actually have a special enclosure box that has been 3D printed for that specific application, for people that are always on the go. It's USB type C charging, and you can charge it and use it at the same time, and it has a little battery meter on it, so you can tell when you need to charge it. And right now I'm working on getting the runtime, extending the runtime to at least 5 hours of solid good runtime. So hopefully I can get to that soon. Seems like I'm catching up on orders already. And for any international orders are on a separate order list than the US orders. So essentially the international orders don't have to wait in the same line as the orders that we have right now with the US. Because it's international, I wanted to keep them separated. And right now we only have 2 right now that are in line in international that will be going out to Japan. So if anybody makes an order now for anywhere besides the US, they're going to be up first in line to get their devices a lot sooner than later.
Okay, that sounds good. Do you produce each device separately after I make the order, or do you produce, for example, 10 or 20 devices?
Well, I'm making them. I've been doing batches, like I'll do 4 or 5 at a time in a group, just because of the epoxy I have to mix. It's a lot easier to mix a bigger amount of epoxy and do 4 or 5 of them at once, rather than doing single. But essentially, if there's only 2 or 3 orders, like in Australia, then I did those 2 at the same time and was able to ship them out at the same time. And if you have people that are TIs that want to group like orders together, we can do that too, to make it cheaper for shipping. Essentially, that's what Australia wanted to do. Is once they get a small group of people, they want to make a big order, and then have it all shipped at one time to one location. And that really brings the shipping down significantly. But even to Australia, I think it was only $77 to ship to Australia.
Okay.
Which is it's not too bad. It was pretty reasonable for shipping on the other side of the world.
Hmm. I don't know how much it is to Germany. I would have to ask somebody.
We'd like to use UPS because USPS is criminal over here, and FedEx never had really any luck with FedEx. So we use UPS. We haven't had hardly any issues with them. But
Okay.
it's not that hard for me to send you if you were to send me your address, I can type it into the UPS and then find out how much they would charge for next day or for regular ground. So later on, if you want to email me your address, I can, for an example, I can check to see how much it'll be to ship to you, and then you can get an idea roughly from there.
Yeah, sounds good. That sounds very good. Yeah. Do you want to change the window again so we can be
I totally forgot about
in a big screen?
Yeah, sorry about that. Let's see. How do I get back to?
Just go and stop sharing.
Nope.
Stop sharing. Stop sharing. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay, Armando, I would say I think our time for today, for our broadcast now, comes to an end. I would thank you for all this important, really positive information you gave us. And I think I will order one of these devices. I want to try it out. I'm very curious about to see how it works and if it works. And yeah, maybe some other TIs from Germany or from Europe will follow and will also try it out. Um, do you want to say
Most definitely.
something to the TIs, to our visitors, to our audience? Do you want to say something like kind of last words or something?
Keep your head up and just keep on, keep strong. We're the end is near. I feel the end is near, and God is with us. So just hang in there.
I hope you are right. I hope that this will get to an end because so many people are suffering and are waiting for it to end the program.
We have a honey badger lawyer, Anna, that just no matter what they throw at her, she doesn't quit. And she's not gonna quit until she's either dead or this is done. And same here with me and my family. I'm not gonna ever quit for them until I'm dead or until this stops. And then I don't know what I'll do afterwards. My purpose will be done if the program ends. Then maybe I can get back to raising my family at peace.
You will find something. You will find something good for you.
I'm sure. I'm sure I will. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. I wish you all the best also for your wife and your daughter, for your family. And I hope that together we will break this program and we will be free one day. And we will work on it. We won't stop working on it until we are free altogether.
Yes, sir. 10-4. Hang in there and God bless. Godspeed.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye. Have a good day. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
See you.